Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Gacha News. You know the deal, stories come out about your favorite and maybe not so favorite mobile titles, and we cover as many as we can every week for your enjoyment. Speaking of your enjoyment, if you had a good time watching today's vid, why not drop a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything we do here at VII. As always, let us know in the comments how you feel about the stories covered, and if you have any suggestions of games you'd like us to discuss in the future. And with that said, let's get right into the news. Sorry, I always wanted to do that. If you know, you know. The closed beta for Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier has officially launched. If you pre-register for the game before May 27th, make sure to check the App Store of your mobile device to see if you'll be able to participate. The closed beta will be up until June 7th, so if you want an early taste of what the game is like, make sure to take advantage of the opportunity. As a reminder, the beta is only available to those in Canada and the US. Also, any game data will not be able to be transferred to the full game when it officially releases. The First Soldier features different classes for players to choose from, like Warrior, Sorcerer, and Monk, each with their own unique traits and abilities. By slaying legendary monsters from Final Fantasy VII, players will earn experience points in Guild, which can be used to unlock famous weapons the series is known for. There'll be a multitude of customization options ranging from accessories, weapon and vehicle skins, and no Battle Royale will be complete without cool and epic emotes. Square Enix has blessed me once with the Near Reincarnation beta, and now again with the First Soldier beta. And hey, Square, if you're listening and you want to throw your boy some cash to play the game, I'd be down. Just saying. Anyways, Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier is available for Android and iOS, and is currently set to release sometime this year worldwide. If you'd like to see what the first 8 minutes of the game is like, make sure to check out our video that went up 2 days ago. Alchemy Stars is now up for pre-registration. For some reason, the US version requires a different internal game package compared to everywhere else where the global version is available. Fans have speculated that with the split, it is almost guaranteed that the US version will play differently than all other versions. As of now, we don't know what said differences are, but hopefully it doesn't make US players feel completely disconnected from everyone else. As you can see on the game's official US-specific Twitter page, the developers have already announced that players in the region will be unable to participate in the game's Lucky Draw event, which is available for global outside of the States. Is this a showing of what's to come, or an outlier at launch? Only when the game releases will we be able to find out. If you'd like to pre-register for the global version of Alchemy Stars, you can do so for both Android and iOS devices, with the game being available currently for KN and JP. Speaking of JP, the game apparently has an English setting, so that could be an alternative for those unhappy with the current direction of the US version. Punishing Gray Raven may be up for pre-registration on global soon. The reason I say may is because as of me writing this story, users, including myself, have received a 404 error when attempting to launch a link to the webpage for registration. So although this unfortunately means that the game is not ready for pre-registration yet, it is a good sign that it'll be coming in the near future. If you're unfamiliar with Punishing Gray Raven, it's a gacha that takes place in a cyberpunk dystopia that features fast-paced action and impressive 3D visuals that have been compared to other games like Nier Automata and Honkai Impact 3rd. If you're into those games, then you may want to keep an eye out for this title on its social media pages for any updates. And of course, if anything major comes out for the game, Gacha News will be there to cover the latest. Punishing Gray Raven is currently available for JP and CN for Android and iOS devices, with a global version on the way sometime this summer. Romancing Saga, our universe, just hit a year. You know what that means? Anniversary time. From now until June 6th, players have the opportunity to summon for SS Vanquish the Sinistrals, Matriarch, and SS Don't Hold Back Joe. As per anniversary law, players will be rewarded with bountiful login bonuses in which they can accumulate up to 24,500 free jewels just by logging in and doing some daily missions. In addition, the units SS The Road to Tribal Chief Aisha, SS Beyond the Horizon Hawk, and SS Bear the Light of Hope Albert will be added to the Platinum Summon permanently. Until June 14th, players can test their might against the first anniversary Spear Trial and acquire event-limited items and jewels upon completion. There will also be an entirely new game mode added called The Final Island, where players build a party from a limited selection of characters and fight enemies for several rounds. Scores will then be given out based on how quickly the rounds are completed, as well as even more rewards. The max level for the Spiral Corridor has now been increased to level 80, allowing players to battle even more difficult baddies and obtain more Spiral tickets used to gain exclusive styles. Lastly, during the celebration, a new expedition area called Naj Desert will be added permanently, giving players another option to send their units to gain experience. The mobile title is set 300 years after the events of Romancing Saga 3, featuring an original story with familiar faces, and the fast-paced strategic combat this series is known for. If you'd like to get in on the first anniversary, Romancing Saga Our Universe is available for Android and iOS devices on JP and Global. Now, instead of finishing things off on my end with a story, I figured why not talk about the upcoming mobile releases for the month of June. So, starting off, we have Catopia Rush for Global that came out on the 2nd. King Sense dropped on the 3rd for Global as well. Atelier Online Alchemist of Brazil will arrive on the 8th for Global. On the 10th, Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds will release for JP, KN, and TW for the 11th. Devil May Cry Peak of Combat will release for CN. And lastly, Ragnarok X Next Generation will come out on the 18th of the month for SEA. That about does it for me. Time to give Sly the floor to close us out. Take it away, man.
Thanks, Iron. New month, so you know what that means. It's time for the next installment of This Month in Dragalia Lost. Starting in mid-June, we will be getting a new Onslaught event. Love these events. Time to stack up on more honey for the upcoming double drops for the High Dragon Trials. In this event, Tobias will appear in a pretty fancy getup. No details on him just yet, so we'll have to wait for the event to come around. We will also be receiving time attack challenges that will pit us against flame-attuned enemies, so time to break out those water teams. Starting early next month will be Asura, who will be the next boss in the Rise of the Sinister Dominion event. Of course, there are no further details other than this notice, so be sure to stay tuned here on 5-9 for when more details arrive, as it will surely be covered. We also have received the next boss in the Trials of the Mighty, the Shadow Legion. Yes, this time it is not a dragon. This trial will grant the convictions and devotions to Mana Spiral's Summer Verica. The requirements are Light Bow, Wand, and Staff Adventurers. While we are on the topic of Summer Verica Spiral, let's quickly go over how insane it is. Her original S1 mods for Blindness Relief, Strength Buff, and HP Regen did not have their modifications touched. However, she did receive 2 new mods. She will grant a shield that is equal to 30% of her max HP, and she will now grant over damage with a 50% potency. To those that are unaware, Overdamage is one of the best skill mods in the game and fantastic choices for healers, as they can heal and grant more damage to all allies with just 1 skill. I don't know what Cygames was thinking, but thank you so much for this spiral. Last and definitely not least, June 21st will be the 1000 day celebration on Dragalia Lost, so be sure to stay tuned for more info on this big celebration. One Piece Treasure Cruise will be having a new treasure map starting on June 6th on the global version. And like with every treasure map comes 3 new banners with units that give extra boosts and points in the event. The 3 new units for this treasure map are Big Mom, Kaido, and V3 Zoro. Over on the JP side of things, we will now be able to vote for a new legend character. The choices are between Mr. 2 Bon Clay, Tashigi, Emporio Ivankov, and Caesar Clown. Character voting will be held between June 1st and June 7th. Lastly, on the JP side, there will be new characters available for the medal exchange. For 400 medals, you can choose between Germa 66, V3 Kuzan, V3 Rayleigh, and Pudding. For 250 medals, you can choose between V1 Shirahoshi and Manshari, Garp, and V2 Kuzan. And for 150 medals, you can choose between Robin, V2 Law, Neko, Kizaru, and Sengoku. Over in Paseo, Pokemon Masters is having 2 Master Fairs right now. The first one is for Maxie and Groudon, the second is for Archie and Kyogre. Thankfully, Groudon is a ground striker, as the only true ground DPS was Cynthia and Garchomp, and as much as I love Cynthia, she's an older unit, and weather teams are not the full meta anymore. The only other real option for ground DPS besides Cynthia was Leon and Charizard, as they have Earthquake. Alongside these 2 Master Fairs, we also have a new story event called Masters of Land and Sea. In this event, you will be able to acquire important materials such as potential tickets, candy coins, scout tickets, and more. In addition, we will also be receiving a new high difficulty event called Extreme Battle Event Ancient Brawl. This will start on June 4th and will give players the opportunity to receive Team Magma and Team Aqua pins from the special missions. Lastly, we are able to obtain battle points from the story event to exchange for sync pairs. Currently, it is only the 4-star variants, but we will be able to exchange for the 5-star variants starting next week, so stay tuned for more info. That is all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here at 5-9 Gaming. Have a great weekend, everybody.